Hey Jenny, you will not believe what I just read. It's about this AI-powered phishing attack targeting Gmail users. And we're not talking a few hundred or even a few thousand. We're talking billions.
Whoa, back up. Billions? As in with a B? What are you talking about? You mean like 2.5 billion?
Exactly that. 2.5 billion. Apparently, these cybercriminals are using some advanced AI to mimic, get this, Google support technicians. Now, how are you supposed to know who's real or not? The digital Wild West has reached a whole new level.
Okay, that's seriously concerning. But how does that even work? Are they just like cold calling people?
It's way more sophisticated than that. They're using AI voice cloning tech. Oh man, this is the cool part. So basically what's happening is they can make it sound like anyone. Your boss, your bank, even your grandma. It's kind of like that deep fake tech, but for audio. They are also spoofing caller IDs, so it appears to come from a legit number.
That's unsettling. So it's not just an email scam anymore? They're coming at you from all angles?
Precisely. It's a multi-channel attack. They hit you with a call, then follow up with an email that looks like it's from a real Google domain. They are really pulling out all the stops here. This is next-level stuff. Just last week, there was this hack club founder, Zach Lateta, who was almost compromised.
Wait a sec, so they call you and then send a follow-up email to make it seem legit? How are they even getting away with this?
Right? That's what I was thinking. It seems they are preying on that initial moment of panic. You know, you get a call saying your account's been compromised, your heart rate goes up, and you just want to fix it. Even tech-savvy individuals are susceptible to these attacks.
I can see how that would work. It plays on your emotions. So how are people supposed to tell if it's a real call or not?
That's the tricky part. These AI voices are getting really, really good. There was this one expert, Dr. Bruce Schneier. He's a big deal in cybersecurity at Harvard. And he was saying this attack is like a new frontier in the cybercrime world. He even said it was a game changer for phishing attacks. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to use that phrase.
I get it, but a new frontier does paint a vivid picture though. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's happening right now.
Totally. I mean, not totally. It's just, it is very sci-fi. Remember that movie where the AI starts mimicking everyone's voices? It's basically that, but in real life, although maybe not quite as dramatic. Yet.
Okay, let's say I get one of these calls. What am I supposed to do? Just hang up?
Well, hanging up is definitely a good first step. But here's the thing about these attacks. They're designed to bypass those gut reactions. You need to always verify, especially if they are asking for sensitive information or a 2FA code. Forbes did an investigative report that found that these attackers were able to manipulate users to provide authentication codes.
So even two-factor authentication isn't foolproof?
Not against this, apparently. This expert I mentioned earlier, she was saying 2FAs is crucial, like really important, but it's not the end-all be-all anymore. They are saying we need to start looking at more advanced methods. I was reading about behavioral biometrics.
Behavioral what now? Is that like analyzing how I type or something?
Yeah, exactly. It's like your unique digital fingerprint. How you type, how you move your mouse, even how you hold your phone. This is wild. There's a study that suggests this could be way more effective than just regular 2FA.
That's fascinating. But how does it work in practice? Like, is my phone going to be constantly analyzing everything I do?
Well, kinda. It's more about patterns. So let's say you always type really fast, or you always click on certain parts of the screen first. The AI learns that. And if someone else tries to access your account, even with your password, it could detect that something's off.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like an extra layer of security that's unique to each person. I can already hear our listeners thinking, is this really necessary?
Right? It might seem like overkill, but these attacks are only going to get more sophisticated. And it is not just individuals at risk, but also large corporations. Did you know that a large financial institution was targeted by a campaign that used AI to create personalized emails?
It's a bit scary when you think about it, but I guess it's the world we live in now. We're always having to adapt to new threats.
Exactly. And you know what else is interesting? This isn't just a tech problem. It has all these societal implications too. I was reading about how this could widen the digital divide, you know? Like, not everyone has access to this kind of advanced security.
That's a really good point. It's like, the people who are most vulnerable are the ones who are least equipped to protect themselves. What do you think can be done about that?
Well, there are organizations talking about this very issue. Like, how do we make sure that everyone has access to good security, not just the tech elite. There's a big push for more digital literacy programs, which I think is key. It seems that the World Economic Forum and UNESCO are emphasizing how important technological literacy is.
It's like we need to teach people how to be cyber aware, just like we teach them to look both ways before crossing the street.
That's a great analogy. It's about making security awareness second nature. And honestly, I think tech companies have a big role to play here. They need to be more proactive about educating their users. And I am not just talking about sending out generic emails. They need to really engage with people, make it easy to understand.
Speaking of tech companies, do you think they're doing enough to combat these kinds of attacks?
That's a tough one. I mean, they're definitely investing in AI-powered defense systems. There was this one bank that managed to thwart a major attack using AI, but it's like an arms race, you know? For every step forward in defense, the attackers take 2 steps forward.
So it's like a constant game of cat and mouse. But with AI on both sides, it's more like a super high-tech, futuristic version of cat and mouse.
Ha! Exactly. And that brings up another interesting point. The whole ethical side of using AI in cybersecurity. Who gets to decide how these tools are used? I just heard Jen Easterly, the director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, speak on this, and she emphasized the need for a collective defense approach.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. It's like we need to make sure that the cure isn't worse than the disease, right?
Precisely. It's a balancing act. We need to use AI to protect ourselves, but we also need to make sure that we're not creating new problems in the process. This all reminds me of what Dr. Donsong was discussing at the RSA conference about leveraging AI for defense.
It's a lot to think about, for sure. But I'm glad we're talking about it. The more people know about these threats, the better prepared they'll be.
That's the hope, right? Awareness is the first line of defense. And who knows, maybe we'll even inspire some future cybersecurity experts to come up with new ways to protect us.
Fingers crossed. Well, Mark, as always, you've given us a ton to think about. I feel like I need to go check all my security settings now.
Haha, me too, Jenny. Me too. But hey, at least we're in this together, right? We'll keep learning and adapting, and hopefully, we'll stay one step ahead of the bad guys. Until next time.
Sounds like a plan. Until then, stay safe out there, everyone, and watch out for those suspicious phone calls.